Welcome to the Family Geekery Podcast, a podcast for geeks from a family of geeks. We talk about comic books, video games, and anything else geeky. I'm Chris.
And I'm Dani.
And we got no Amber today. She is out on the road, but we are going to be talking about some anime today, because this is the first week of AniMAY. It's
AniMAY.
gonna be
AniMAY. May. Oh.
We were thinking of Tang Tang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're gonna feature some anime all this month, and we're gonna kick it off this week with a little anime roulette. But we'll talk about that in a minute, because before we do that,
Geeky Weeks.
let's talk about our Geeky Weeks. You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I can kick it off. Let's see. I got to do some art market crochet stuff, like the usual. So that was fun.
Yeah, you had a little market at your school.
I did.
Did you sell lots of stuff?
I did.
That's good.
Yeah. People liked a lot of my arcane stuff, even though it's been like a year or two. Other than that, I watched the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, neat.
It's kind of geeky. And my horse was in first place for the whole race until the last second when he became in fifth.
Whoa.
So I guess he lost his momentum, or he got tired.
Or it's rigged, one of those.
Yeah. And then, waiting for the Kentucky Derby, we played some Code Names.
Cool.
Which I haven't played in a while, so that was fun. That's always a good one.
Oh, yeah.
And some good old Uno.
Can't go wrong with Uno.
Nope. But I think that's as geeky as my wiki got.
Cool. Well, I get to see a couple movies. I saw the movie Michael with your mother.
Ooh, I want to see that.
It's about this artist from many years ago. I think Michael Jackson was his name. Apparently a very famous fella. But no, that was really good. It's kind of neat to kind of relive the history that I kind of lived through. You know, I kind of saw it all go down. But it's neat to see kind of behind the curtains a little bit. And the performance by the actors was excellent. So that was good.
That was his nephew, right?
Yep. That's his nephew. And then saw another very similar movie, Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh.
With another famous dude that starts with the letter M. And that was pretty cool. Can't go wrong with a good Mario movie.
True that.
It seemed like this time Chris Pratt added a little bit extra Italian accent to his portrayal.
Oh.
Maybe he heard enough criticism after the last movie, but it was good.
Good.
And then I got a new video game for the Switch. Got me a little bit of Pokemon Pokopia.
Whoa.
Yeah, had to see what it was all about. Had an opportunity to play some games, so I figured let's play what all them kids are playing. So I checked it out, and it's actually pretty good. Pretty neat premise. So I'm having fun with that.
Nice.
But that's about it for me, other than the obvious. We both got a little geeky with some anime.
We did.
And for this kickoff week of anime, week 1, decided just to do a little Netflix roulette, and found a website that would allow you to select a genre and select TV versus movie, and then hit spin. And that's what we did. And we came up with a title, which was Kotaro Lives Alone, which is a Netflix. It's got the big N in the corner of it, so it's something that Netflix brought into their library of lots of anime. And that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. I remember it being on my Netflix homepage for a while.
So they were trying to get you to watch it, and you didn't. So now
I didn't.
the fates have aligned. The Netflix roulette has said, "You have avoided Kotaro for too long, Danielle. You must now watch."
I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Did you know that this was a manga from 2015 to 2023?
Wow, that's long going.
Yeah, apparently a fairly popular manga.
Oh.
Popular enough that they made this TV show, this season 1, which is 10 episodes in 2021. And when I did a quick search just to bring up this, to make sure that I remembered the name, I typed into Google Kotaro Lives Alone, and then you know how if you just let it sit there, then it autofills the rest of the question for you. And all of the top responses were, when in the heck is season 2 coming?
Oh.
Well, season 1 was 2021, so that might answer its own question.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like maybe it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, you'll just have to go buy the hundreds of manga that are out.
Right. But why don't you tell us, Dani, a little bit about Kotaro Lives Alone? What is the premise of the show?
So, Kotaro is this kid who has a very expansive vocabulary for a 4-year-old that we find out is his age in the first episode. And he moves into this apartment complex and he meets his neighbors, and he finds one neighbor that he's fond of, and they become little buddies. And this neighbor is a manga writer or manga artist who's, you know, he's surviving. And I think they both just come into each other's lives and make it a little better. But it's just them becoming friends. But yeah, there's a little mystery around why he's alone. No parents around. So that's about it. And he's making friends with the neighbors. And he's a very intelligent 4-year-old.
Yeah, they describe this apartment complex as a ramshackle. There's six units, 3 upstairs, 3 downstairs. And he starts off by going to the supermarket and buying a gift for everybody, which is a box of Kleenex. Or a box of tissues, I guess would be the correct term. Which is an odd gift, but pretty humorous at the same time. And so in this first episode that we watched, we get to meet 3 of the neighbors. We get to meet Shin Karino, which is the lazy but kind manga artist. We get to meet Isamu Tamaru, which is described as a rather loud neighbor, divorced and not on speaking terms with his son due to his ex-wife keeping him away. So this guy is trying to befriend Kotaro because it reminds him of his son, and Kotaro's like, hey, that's not cool. I can't be a replacement for you. Go fix things with your own son. Which is probably the most adultest thing in the in the whole show.
Right.
And then the last one that we meet is Mizuki Akitomo, which is a hostess at a local nightclub. And she puts on a brave face, but she's apparently going through some possibly domestic abuse problems. So that's all we've met so far. And they're a good cast of characters. But obviously Kotaro is the real star of this show. And
right.
what is he? How does he describe his the way he talks? when Shin asks him, "Why do you talk like that?" You remember what he said, why he speaks that way?
Feudal lord.
Yeah, he says this is the way the feudal lords speak. And since he is a feudal lord, then this is the way that his heart has told him to speak for now.
Oh, that makes sense now because he calls him his servant.
Right. So.
And he carries around a sword and talks like medieval.
Very, very proper.
Yeah.
When he leaves the room, he says, "I must away."
He goes, "I."
I.
For yes.
And this 31-year-old man who thinks that he should look after Kotaro because he's kind of confused by the fact that a 4-year-old could rent an apartment by himself. And he takes it upon himself to look after Kotaro, is actually being treated by Kotaro as the servant in this relationship. So that's very funny. But he's very set in his ways. He goes on his little adventures. He has some real purpose for everything that he does. And he gets very confused why there is no bath in his ramshackle apartment. So he asks his neighbor, "Hey, why is there no bath in these apartments?" And what does his neighbor tell him?
That it's a separate building.
Yeah, you have to go to the bathhouse.
Oh.
Which he misunderstood as a battle house. So Kotaro is ready to go to battle. But he ends up in a bathhouse. Along with his 31-year-old friend.
Just a 4-year-old and a 31-year-old taking a shower together.
Both of them as naked as the day they were born. Nothing on but a smile. And this is, I guess, completely normal for this this culture. I don't know.
I think in some way it was supposed to be wholesome because he's like, "Oh, someone's never washed my hair in a while."
Yeah, it's definitely wholesome, but
little weird.
You can't ever, yeah. And today you can't watch these things without a slight lens of perversion, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this kid has a lot of insight and he gives a lot of advice and morals to the other neighbors. But in reality, I feel like it's a mask of his own, like, troubles.
Yeah, he's very mature, but at the same time, the kid inside him shows up every now and then, and he has to confront his own child nature.
Mm-hmm.
And he does his best to put meaning to the things that happen to him that are completely normal for any child, like falling down, skinning your knee and crying.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't want to show that as a weakness, so he has to, put on a brave face and kind of explain it away. No, I wasn't crying.
Yeah. He was like, "No, I wasn't crying." And then 5 minutes later, he's telling the drunk girl, like, "You can cry in front of me. Like, my view of you doesn't change."
Right.
And then the 31-year-old is like, "Wait, but you're not taking your own advice."
Yep.
I guess it goes the same with the dad. With he's like, "Go fix your relationship with your son," but clearly he hasn't overcome whatever he's dealing with his parents.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be brought up as the series goes on. But as of the episode 1 that we have, we just know that there is no family involved, but we don't know why yet.
My biggest question is how he's paying rent.
Yeah. I think that's going to have to be answered.
Unless mom and dad are feeding him money.
The neighbor's already confused because he's struggling to get by as an artist, and here's a 4-year-old completely fine and buying his own groceries, paying his own rent, and serving out advice like an adult.
Yeah.
But what do you think? We got one episode down. You think you're gonna have to watch the other 9?
I think we should.
I think it's a good, easy watch. We got to see what the hook is. Something's got to happen.
Yeah.
There's got to be something in the backstory.
For sure.
It's not every day that you run into a 4-year-old feudal lord renting his own apartment.
True. I wonder if season 1 ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh, I hope not.
Then they're like, go buy all the mangas that are $15 each, and there's 50 of them.
Yeah, the manga was put out by a magazine company called Big Comic Superior. So I wonder if they paid off Netflix. They're like, hey, don't make any more of these cartoons. Give them just enough to whet their appetite, and then they have to come to Big Comic Superior to buy the rest.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. I think we got a winner. Thank you to Netflix Roulette, or whatever the name of the website was that suggested this to us. It did have, what it have, like an 8.5 out of 10 rating?
Yeah. It was up there.
It was up there.
Which I feel like is pretty good for like a Netflix original. I feel like most of the animes that are most popular aren't Netflix originals.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad that we watched this. Next week, haven't decided yet. Maybe we'll do another roulette, or maybe you can suggest one if you've got a favorite one. I don't have a big, long library of watched anime to start making suggestions from, so I will either allow you to pick something for us, or we'll just go back to the roulette. What do you think?
I agree. And we'll have some, hopefully Amber can join us.
Yeah. You should be back next week. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. Anything else before we close it out?
If a 4-year-old can do it, you can do it.
Ooh. That's words of wisdom to live by.
A fictional 4-year-old.
I mean, it's way better put together than Caillou.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little crybaby.
Yeah, don't cry.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We thank you for listening. Go ahead and check out our socials. Check out the YouTube channel. See what's going on there. Stay tuned for next week when we come back with another episode of AniMAY. It's kind of hard to say that without putting the May in there.
Yeah.
Thank you to NSYNC for ruining May and clogging up all the social networks on April 30th. So that's going to do it. We thank you as always for listening. And until next time, peace out.
Peace out.
And geek out.
out.
Thank you for listening to the Family Geekery podcast. For more information, visit www.familygeekery.com. Don't forget to subscribe at your favorite podcast provider. And until next time, peace out and geek out.